It is a beautiful and humid day outside, and I hope you can all hear me with this nifty little mic. But I'm coming on here to talk about something that came up in my Haven private group yesterday. A very common question and situation that I thought would be helpful to share with you all. A wonderful healer came on yesterday just feeling so frustrated and overwhelmed, stressed. And she was feeling this way, not so much about the nervous system regulation, but because of the stuff outside of that. So she's been retraining for about a year or so, and she's doing a fantastic job of continuing to show up. But she is still doing, seeing certain doctors and practitioners. She's still following up with certain protocols. And a lot of these are extremely costly. And so she's come to this place now where she's feeling really stressed about the fact that she's paying, all of these different practitioners, monthly, and that this is putting a strain on them financially, but also the fact that it's coming from this place of fear. So this fear of, if I don't continue to do these, I'm not going to heal. So she rightfully so felt so much pressure, so much stress, confusion, maybe even anger, grief, so much wrapped in this. And so this is what I shared with her. So first of all, I definitely understand how hard and frustrating this is, and I think everyone in this community can relate on some level. But I will share from my own personal experience and experience working with others. While I'm not so black and white and believe that we can be supported in multiple ways as we regulate our nervous systems and retrain our brains, I do know that the regulation piece, finding safety, is at the core of all of this. This is where the majority of our focus, energy, and resources should be going. I know for myself, each time I would go to my naturopathic doctor, my integrative medicine practitioner, they'd find another issue in my labs. I'd be placed on another protocol and would just feel worse. I did not have the capacity to process any of the detoxes, the vitamins, the protocols, the diets that they put me on. It was all fear-based and further amplified the survival mode that I was already in. I was still going to doctors and following protocols early on in my brain retraining. There came a point where I decided to let those go for the time being and really commit to this nervous system work. I chose to give it my all and let some of these go. And this was huge for me. Now, I'm obviously not giving you anyone medical advice, nor am I telling you what to do, but I have experienced this, and I work with many who, while doing this work, were stuck in this pattern of searching for something outside of themselves to fix them. There was a strong belief that someone else had to save them. And I held this belief deeply as well. This is why I went from doctor to doctor, practitioner to practitioner, and it was a never-ending cycle of fear. And again, powerlessness. Now, I'm not saying that some professionals don't have a place on this journey. There have been many that have been supportive for me, but the key is to see it as support, not as a fix, not as a thing that's going to heal you. The nervous system work truly is key. If you were to choose one thing to truly believe in, truly commit to, it should be this work. So how would it feel if you took some of the other things off the table and truly focused on this work, on regulating, on finding safety? And if it doesn't feel safe to pause all of these things at once, what can you let go of now? What can you change? I've been where you're at. And I have so many in my community and in this group who've been through the same. And we're all here to support and encourage each other. It takes time to let go of some of these things, so don't be hard on yourself. When you're in survival and you're filled with this desperate need to feel better, you'll do whatever it takes, and it makes sense, so there's no judgment or shame here. But perhaps a part of you is showing you that it wants to do things differently. And I've said this before, there are so many pathways to safety and regulation. And even if you pause some of these protocols or visits to practitioners and really commit to the nervous system work, really choose to see it as the place where healing happens, I truly believe you will see changes. And perhaps as you build more of that foundation and regulation, as you cultivate safety, you may want to revisit some of these protocols in the future, or you may realize you don't need them at all. But we want to make these decisions from a place of safety and regulation, not from a place of fear and dysregulation. If this related to you, I hope this made sense. I'm proud of you for continuing to show up and not giving up. And just know that I've been there, many of us have, and it sounds like it's time for you to choose differently. So what are you going to choose today? How are you going to do things differently? And how are you going to commit to this work? I hope this helped you today. If it did, please comment below and share this with a friend who might need to hear this too.